Have you ever wondered if the advice that you're following to improve your running and getting faster could actually be wrong? Well, I believe it is, and let me explain why. Well, in fact, I know it is because in October 2024, I ignored all past advice. Within 4 months, I ran a 33-minute PB in my marathon, PB in my half marathon, and ran a sub 20-minute 5K, all at the weight of 95 kilograms. And I did this using a system that I've used personally myself, and it's helped countless amounts of guys as well. And if you're new here, I'm Lewis Neal, also known as the Hybrid Dad, and I help guys run like a runner and look like a lifter through simple nutrition and hybrid training. And I'm excited because today I'm going to take you through the exact blueprint to go from a casual runner to PBing every single race without doing more work or losing the will to live. In this deep dive, you're going to discover the exact things to focus on and ignore all the outdated advice to make sure that you can get the results just like you can see on screen. So you're probably thinking, will this work for me? And this will work exactly for you if you are new to running, whether you're experienced at running, or if you're working towards your next event. Who it's not for is the people who turn up to a park run on a Saturday and just have a good time. So the biggest lie that you're being told is that you need to run the majority of your runs easy, right? But first of all, we need to discover what it actually is and why do people say that. So easy running is just another way of saying zone 2 work. For runners, it's like the easiest side of stuff. It's a heart rate zone. And usually that heart rate zone is sub 160. For quick maths, it's 180 minus your age will give you the top end of your zone 2. And the focus for staying in that zone is to help build up your aerobic base and build that fitness. But here's why it's a lie. So majority of the time, people will tell you to run 80% of your running at easy work and then 20% speed work or harder efforts. But the big problem is, a lot of people can't stay in zone 2, especially when you're a beginner. And number 2, you're not doing enough mileage to do that. So let me explain. So first, when you're getting into running, it's actually hard to keep your heart rate down because when you start running, the heart rate will be jacked up. And that leaves people a little bit discouraged. So like, I can't stay in zone 2. What easy running means is basically start with the effort level. Make sure that you can have a conversational pace. Make sure that it's not super difficult. That's what easy running looks like. Even if your heart rate is higher at first, over time and the more that you do it, your heart rate zone will come down. So in the start especially, make sure your easy work went off feel. And the second thing is that you're not doing enough mileage for the 80-20 principle to work. Like take my mate Brad, for example. He's going to run a sub 230 marathon at the London Marathon this year. And Brad is running around 120 to 140 kilometers a week. So of course, majority of the work that he's doing is going to be easy and 20% is going to be difficult. But that 20% for Brad is still like 25 to 30 kilometers a week, which is most people's running schedule. So for guys like you and me who have a life outside of fitness, family, business, etc., and we're not going to get 120k a week, things need to change. And that's when I changed this one thing. So let me explain the exact steps I took to PB my marathon by 33 minutes. Number 1 was more speed work and number 2 was more runs at marathon pace. So let me break down my week. I broke my week down into 4 runs, not 5, not 6 or anything more than that. I could commit to 4 because I like to run like a runner, but I also like to look like a lifter. So 4 sessions to me was absolutely plenty. Monday consisted of an easy run at a conversational pace. Yes, I focused on heart rate, but as I've been running for a while, I can keep my heart rate around 155, 145 comfortably. So that was Monday's run. We then had 2 speed runs into the week. We did intervals on a Wednesday, which usually consisted of anything from 200-meter intervals right the way up to mile repeats, such as 1 kilometer on, 50-second rest 6 times. And the second speed session came on a tempo run on a Friday. So the difference between intervals and tempo is that intervals come with a rest period, i.e. 1k on with a 60-second rest. And then tempos generally don't have a rest, but you're still working at that high intensity, that faster pace, such as 3k at marathon pace into 3k easy times 3. And then Sundays were always my long run. And this is where in the past I've done 20, 30, 35k at easy just to get the distance done. But the big change that I made to these was every single week I incorporated some work at marathon pace. So it might have been 5k warm up, 2 times 5k at marathon pace, another 5k cool down. And this was the absolute game changer for me, spending more time in them faster zones because I never used to run anything near a 4-minute kilometer, a 4:30 or anything with a 4 in front of it. My old marathon was a 5:40 pace, which is a 3:57 marathon. This time round, I found myself running a lot more under 5-minute kilometers. My easy run pace came down to a 4:55 to a 5:15, and then my speed work stuff ended up being sub 4:45. So just by incorporating more speed work into pretty much the majority of my training, as opposed to the minority of my training, I got quicker over time, I got fitter, and I got more efficient at that pace as well. And one of the big things that I included, because the intensity was higher, was my strength work. We still kept that up, especially leg days, where we included single leg movements to help prevent injury and strengthen up the knee joint, the ankle joint, the hips, and just get your body used to working in that capacity. And another big one was recovery, making sure I was getting enough sleep, making sure I was getting my nutrition in a good spot, hydration, and making sure I was recovered all the time. So that's what I did in this prep compared to all previous preps before. I increased my speed work, I spent more time at target marathon pace, and that helped me get faster across a 5K distance right the way up to a marathon distance, and it also helped me on the day. On the day of a marathon especially, there's only going to be 3 things that are going to stop you. It's your lungs, i.e. your fitness level, which obviously compounds over the time of the training. Number 2 is a fueling strategy, so cramping or something similar, again, which we absolutely nailed. But then number 3 is actually your legs or your joints giving up, because you're doing so much mileage, you're pounding the concrete, and I think the speed work mixed with the strength training 100% improved this for me this time round. So if you find that useful, drop it a like, drop it a comment. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you need help to run like a runner and look like a lifter, join the hybrid project in the link in the description. Let's have a chat how I can help you reach these goals, get faster, get fitter, get stronger, get leaner, and become the everyday athlete.